Travis Hunter was supposed to be living the dream. A booming NFL career, a massive rookie contract, a flashy wedding, and a wife by his side, it all looked picture perfect. But what fans are watching unfold now feels more like a cautionary tale than a fairy tale. Just weeks after saying "I do," whispers turned into headlines. Lyanna Len, Travis's new wife, wasn't just caught getting a little too close with one of his Jaguars teammates. The rumor mill says she might actually be pregnant by him. If that wasn't explosive enough, reports claim Lyanna is already planning to file for divorce barely 2 months into the marriage. And here's the kicker: Travis never signed a prenup. No safety net, no protection. Just a $46 million rookie deal sitting wide open. Fans aren't holding back either. Some are furious, calling him naive. Others say they saw it coming all along. Because truth is, this didn't happen out of nowhere. The red flags have been piling up for years, from old interviews where Lyanna openly admitted Travis wasn't her type to recent viral clips that show cracks in their relationship. The warning signs were right there in plain sight. So the real question becomes, was this ever about love? Or was it always about money, status, and the NFL lifestyle? Stick around, because the deeper we go into this story, the more twisted it gets. And what comes next will leave you stunned. Long before the headlines, long before the Jaguars contract and the wedding rings, the truth about Lyanna was hiding in plain sight. Back in 2022, the couple sat down for an interview that barely made a ripple at the time. But today, fans are replaying that footage with brand new eyes, and what Lyanna admitted back then now feels like a flashing red warning sign. When asked about their relationship, she didn't gush over Travis or play the love-struck fiancé. Instead, she flat out said he wasn't her type. Not because of his looks, but because he was younger and had cheated on a past girlfriend. She even admitted she left his DMs on read for months before finally giving him a chance. At the time, people laughed it off as a quirky confession. But now fans are saying that one line revealed everything about where her priorities truly were. Because if a woman tells the world you were never her type, the obvious question is, then what changed? For a lot of people, the answer is crystal clear: his career. Once Travis started climbing in the NFL, that relationship suddenly went from casual to serious, from private to public, from overlooked to polished. Looking back, that early honesty wasn't just awkward, it was a blueprint showing that Lyanna might not have been drawn to Travis the person, but Travis the rising star. And if that's the case, everything that's happening now starts to look a whole lot less surprising. As Travis's football career took off, so did the dynamic between him and Lyanna. In the early days, she wasn't shouting their love from the rooftops. But the moment his name started climbing draft boards and the NFL spotlight turned his way, the entire relationship seemed to shift gears. Fans noticed it first on social media. Lyanna, who once kept things low-key, suddenly began stepping into the public eye. She was at the games, at the parties, and the Instagram pictures, positioning herself as the polished NFL wife. To many, it felt like a complete transformation, almost as if she'd been waiting for Travis's career to catch fire before fully embracing the role. And that's exactly why the recently leaked footage hit so hard. The video showed Lyanna looking way too comfortable with one of Travis's Jaguars teammates. Not just casual banter, but the kind of cozy body language that set alarm bells ringing. The timing wasn't lost on anyone. It lined up perfectly with her stepping deeper into that NFL circle, as if the fame and access became the real attraction. The whispers only grew louder. Was Lyanna truly invested in her marriage? Or was she chasing the image, the clout, the lifestyle, the doors that open when your last name is tied to the NFL? Because the truth is, Travis has always kept a small circle. He doesn't drink, doesn't chase nightlife, and prefers to stay grounded. Lyanna, on the other hand, seemed to thrive in those bright lights. For fans watching from the outside, the contrast was impossible to ignore. And many believe that this very shift from quiet college girlfriend to NFL socialite was the beginning of the unraveling. If there was one moment that turned this whole story from whispers into a full-blown scandal, it was the leaked video. Out of nowhere, a clip started making the rounds online showing Lyanna in what looked like a little too cozy interaction with one of Travis's Jaguars teammates. At first glance, it might have seemed harmless, a laugh here, a lean in there, but when you watch closely, the chemistry is undeniable, and fans wasted no time connecting the dots. The body language, the timing, the rumors that were already bubbling it all exploded together. Suddenly, Travis's wife is cheating wasn't just gossip, it was the headline. And to make things worse, new whispers suggested this wasn't just about flirting. Some people were claiming that Lyanna was pregnant and the alleged father wasn't Travis. But here's where things get even darker. Some fans don't believe the video was leaked at all. The theory gaining traction online is that Lyanna planted it herself, making sure it landed right where Travis would see it. Why? To blow up the marriage on her own terms. If that's true, then this wasn't some careless mistake. It was strategy. Think about it. The clip didn't surface in some random group chat. It hit the internet at the exact moment the marriage was already under strain, fueling divorce rumors and public scrutiny all at once, almost like the perfect storm. For Travis, who had spent years defending Lyanna against haters, the silence after this video spoke volumes. No jokes, no clapbacks, no Instagram stories, nothing. And that silence made fans wonder if for the first time he was finally questioning what was really going on. If there's one story that perfectly captures the mismatch between Travis and Lyanna, it's this. She'd head out to parties, and he'd be the one driving her there, dropping her off and then sitting outside in the car for hours while she lived it up inside. No drinking, no mingling, no complaints, just Travis waiting patiently night after night. At the time, Lyanna laughed about it in interviews, almost bragging about how supportive he was. She admitted that while she was Hispanic with tequila in her veins, Travis didn't touch a drop of alcohol. He didn't club, didn't chase the nightlife, didn't need that scene. Yet there he was outside the venue, keeping her safe while she partied until the early morning. Some people saw that as love. Others saw it as a red flag the size of a billboard. Because if your partner is spending their nights immersed in a world you want no part of, how long before the gap between you becomes too wide to ignore? And that's exactly what fans are pointing to now. To them, this wasn't a picture of balance, it was a picture of disconnect. Travis was living like a disciplined athlete focused on football and his future, while Lyanna thrived in a completely different world of shots music and late nights. The more people look back, the more it feels like they were living in two separate realities under one roof. One centered on loyalty and sacrifice, the other chasing energy, attention, and a lifestyle that never really fit Travis. And when you combine that mismatch with the recent cheating rumors, the story stops looking like a surprise and starts looking like an inevitability. A wedding is supposed to be the happiest day of your life, right? The smiles, the laughter, the romance, the big, happily ever after moment. But when Travis and Lyanna tied the knot, fans noticed something completely different. Instead of a fairy tale, the wedding day itself raised more questions than it answered. The first moment that had everyone talking was on the dance floor. Cameras caught Travis leaning in for a kiss, but Lyanna ever so slightly pulled back. It was subtle, easy to miss at first, but when fans slowed it down and replayed it frame by frame, that tiny hesitation turned into a viral talking point. Why would a brand new bride dodge her groom's kiss on her own wedding night? Then came the gift reveal. Travis went all out and surprised Lyanna with a brand new Mercedes G-Wagon, a wedding present worth nearly $500,000. Most people would have screamed, jumped, maybe even cried, tears of joy. But Lyanna's reaction? Barely a smile, distant, almost unimpressed. Fans couldn't believe it. How could she act so cold to such a grand gesture? And if that wasn't enough, the real bombshell came when people looked into where they got married. Not in Georgia, where Travis is from. Not in Florida, where he plays. Instead, they chose Chattanooga, Tennessee. At first, Lyanna said it was because of the beautiful venue, but the internet quickly dug deeper, and what they found was shocking. Tennessee is one of the only states where alimony can be granted without a minimum length of marriage. In other words, even if you divorce after just a few months, you could still walk away with serious money. Put all those moments together, the dodged kiss, the lukewarm reaction, the strategic location, and fans were left wondering if this wedding was about love or leverage. If there's one decision that could cost Travis Hunter more than anything else, it's the fact that he walked into this marriage without a prenup. In the NFL world, where contracts reach tens of millions and careers can change overnight, a prenup isn't just a formality, it's protection. But Travis, he chose to skip it entirely. And this wasn't because he couldn't get one. Lawyers, NFL veterans, even influencers had warned him. Some even offered to draft one for free just to make sure he was covered. But Travis brushed it off, insisting he didn't need that kind of paperwork between him and the woman he loved. Fans applauded the romance at the time, but now with divorce rumors swirling, that decision looks like a ticking time bomb. Here's why Travis's rookie deal is reportedly worth around $46 million. Without a prenup, that money is wide open in the event of a divorce. Add in the fact that the wedding took place in Tennessee, one of the most alimony-friendly states in the country, and the picture gets even darker. In Tennessee, a spouse can be eligible for alimony almost immediately, no matter how short the marriage. Translation: Lyanna could file for divorce after just 2 months and still walk away with a hefty payday. Fans online are already calling it the short, long game. Marry fast, divorce faster, and secure the bag without having to wait years. Whether or not that was Lyanna's plan from the start, the setup looks almost too perfect to ignore. And for Travis, it's the kind of mistake that can change the course of his entire career. Not on the field, but in the bank account. What makes this whole story sting even more is that Travis wasn't walking into this blind. He was warned loudly, publicly, and repeatedly. NFL legends, entertainers, even comedians tried to tell him the same thing. Protect yourself, because not everyone in your corner is really rooting for you. One of the most talked about warnings came from an NFL veteran who had gone through his own messy divorce. On camera, he urged Travis to sign a prenup not out of spite, but out of wisdom. Protect yourself, he said. This isn't shade, this is survival. But Travis, still caught up in love, waved it off. Comedian Godfrey also went viral when he zeroed in on Lyanna's infamous "not my type" comment from that old interview. To him, that one line revealed everything. He put it bluntly: when you weren't successful, you weren't her type. But when you blow up suddenly, you are. That's not love, that's opportunity. Fans couldn't help but agree. Even entertainers like Boward Ward, better known as Bedwell, spoke up, pointing out Lyanna's flirty behavior with other men and urging Travis to wake up. If she says you weren't her type, then what's keeping her here? He asked. If it's not you, then it's the lifestyle. His message was clear: don't confuse loyalty with convenience. Despite all these warnings, Travis stood by Lyanna. Anytime she was criticized, he jumped to defend her. Whenever fans or blogs raised questions, he clapped back, insisting they didn't know the real her. But after the leaked video surfaced, his silence said more than words ever could. And that's what makes this chapter so tragic. Travis wasn't just blindsided, he was warned. He just didn't listen. For years, one thing about Travis Hunter was consistent: he always defended Lyanna. Whether it was a mean tweet, a critical post, or a rumor floating online, Travis was quick to clap back. He'd call out the trolls' post pictures to show unity and make it clear that no one was going to disrespect his wife on his watch. Fans even nicknamed him Captain Save 'Em because of how fast he'd jump in to shield her from the backlash. But when that leaked video of Lyanna with his Jaguars teammate hit the internet, something shifted. For the first time, Travis stayed completely silent. No cryptic Instagram stories, no fiery responses, no trolling posts, just nothing. And for a guy who always had something to say, that silence spoke louder than any defense he could have made. Meanwhile, Lyanna's reaction was the exact opposite. As the video spread like wildfire, she took to social media in tears, staring into the camera and talking about suffering growth and how God uses pain to shape people. On the surface, it looked like damage control. Fans weren't buying it. Many accused her of overplaying the victim card, saying the timing felt too convenient, too rehearsed. And then came the most explosive rumor yet. that Lyanna might actually be pregnant with the teammate's child. For Travis, who had been standing by her through every storm that would be the ultimate betrayal, it's no wonder fans started speculating that his silence wasn't just shock. Maybe he was finally processing the reality he had refused to see for so long. Two very different reactions. One explosive scandal. Travis's silence feels heavy, uncertain. Lyanna's tears feel strategic. And somewhere in the middle of it all, a marriage that's unraveling in real time. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about one marriage gone wrong. It's about how quickly love, money, and fame can collide, and the fallout when the foundation was never as strong as it seemed. For Travis Hunter, the question now isn't just whether his wife cheated or whether she's plotting a divorce. The real question is how he moves forward from here. Will he continue to stand by Lyanna even as the evidence and rumors pile up? Or will this be the moment he finally cuts ties, protecting both his heart and his fortune? Fans are torn. Some still hope he finds a way to save his marriage, but many more believe the writing has been on the wall for years. Because when you step back, the pattern is impossible to ignore. The not my type confession, the late nights of partying while he waited in the car, the dodged kiss at the wedding, the cold reaction to the G-Wagon, the Tennessee loophole, the missing prenup, and finally the leaked video with a teammate. Piece by piece, it paints a picture that feels less like bad luck and more like a carefully crafted setup. But here's what makes it even more gripping: this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. If Lyanna really is pregnant, if divorce papers actually hit the table, if Travis finally breaks his silence, the next chapter will be even messier than what we've already seen. And that's why fans can't look away. Because what started as a fairy tale wedding has spiraled into one of the NFL's wildest scandals. For Travis Hunter, the road ahead is uncertain. But one thing's for sure, every move he makes from here will be watched, analyzed, and judged by millions. The only question left is, will he be remembered as the star who got played, or the man who finally played smart?